So we just watched Dumbo, the newest Disney animated remake.
The newest Tim Burton film.
Directed by Tim Burton.
You couldn't tell.
Long string of these Disney remakes that really nobody asked for. A couple of them have been good so far. Jungle Book I thought was better than the original. Pete's Dragon was definitely better than the original. All the other ones are unnecessary, but they've done a decent job.
Until we got to Dumbo.
Dumbo is an interesting movie. So I actually thought the trailers for this were actually good. I know you have an extreme Tim Burton bias. I don't. I just think his last 15 years or so as a filmmaker have been bad.
His last good movie was in 2007.
Well, I've heard Frankenweenie's good and Big Eyes is good. So, and I haven't seen those.
Haven't seen
them. So
I
haven't seen his good recent movies like Sweeney Todd and Frankenweenie and Big Eyes.
2007, the Sweeney Todd.
Big Eyes was a few years ago, and
so,
that was.
I don't have a Tim Burton bias. I like his first 6 movies. And Sweeney Todd.
I think, yeah.
So I don't necessarily have a bias. I'm just overly critical of him.
You don't like a Sleepy Hollow? I like that movie. I like Mars. Okay. I actually like Mars Attack too. Charlie. I think it started to fall apart at Planet of the Apes and Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Yeah.
So we got this Dumbo movie.
No one asked
some interesting things here. What I appreciate about Tim Burton is that compared to some of the other Disney remakes, it does look like an artist. What are you doing?
Is that a cop truck? Oh.
So what I appreciate about Tim Burton, before I get into anything else, is that compared to the other Disney remakes, he does seem to have a complete vision from beginning to end. Whether that vision works, whether it doesn't. Some of the other ones clearly maybe the studio stepped in and said, hey, let's do this. With Tim Burton, he's like, no. And I think as I'm watching this movie, I'm watching the first 30 minutes or so.
Kind of hurts the movie.
And I'm like, I think this movie's moving along fine. This is a nice little Dumbo movie. It's going to look good. Tim Burton has actually a pretty decent...
Do you think it looked good?
Oh yeah,
I thought it looked like very drab and dark.
Actually, I like the cinematography, and I actually really like the special effects, except for one thing in this movie. I thought that one special effect was trash, and the other special effects were so good.
What did you think it was?
I thought there was a wolf inside the.
That's what you thought it was?
I thought that looked bad.
Really?
Yeah, I thought that special effect was bad.
That was.
Okay. But I thought the elephants were good.
The elephants were the best part, but you know what I thought looked really, really bad? What? The snake at the beginning. Oh my god, it looked awful.
Give or take.
A snake doesn't stretch like that.
Yeah, it wasn't great, but that wolf looked like trash. But he was like in the shadows. But like I said. I think the movie's moving along, and I'm like, this is a decent Dumbo adaptation. You know, you got human characters; they're not that great, but you got the Dumbo stuff. You got the Dumbo stuff, and listen, hold on.
Okay.
So we got Dumbo and his mom, and I think everything with Dumbo and his mom is actually fantastic. That is the movie, and if that was the movie, and that was like all the movie was stuff between Dumbo and his mom,
an hour long.
It'd be sort of like the original Dumbo. So the movie's moving along. I'm like, huh. It's like, I don't understand these reviews. And then
Micheal Keaton
shows up from continent unknown. I don't know what is that. And I guess you can make the argument that you can make the argument that Colin Farrell's accent's not.
What is he trying to do?
With Colin Farrell, you can make the argument it's not the best accent, but you know what he's doing. I don't have a clue what Micheal Keaton is doing. And honestly, I think everything from after Micheal Keaton shows up, the movie suffers. Like, it really does. It suffers. Because, honestly, there's a moment in the first act where I'm like, it's like tugging at my heartstrings. Like, this is really well done. This is good emotion. This is the most heart I've seen in a Tim Burton movie in quite a while. Then Micheal Keaton shows up. I would have preferred him doing his Beetlejuice accent.
You know what's funny about it is that Micheal Keaton is like, as soon as he hits the screen, for me, I was like, all right, let's get into this movie.
You'd expect the most veteran actor to steal the show.
And then, because Danny DeVito's really good in this movie.
He is the best human in the movie.
Danny DeVito's great in this movie. Yeah. And then Micheal Keaton comes on stage, and the moment he opens his mouth, you're like,
he sounds like
you literally go, like, watching the movie going, huh?
You know who he reminded me of sometimes? Jim Carrey from The Grinch sometimes. He's like, let me check my schedule. And I'm like, what? If anything... Hey, it's not boring. If anything, anytime he shows up on screen, it'll suck out any tension or emotion, but you'll be laughing.
You literally are sitting in the crowd watching the movie going,
I don't know.
Okay, I don't know what you're trying to do.
But you know, aside from him, I think all the other humans are good. But what I thought was interesting is that the only human that had an arc in the whole movie was Danny DeVito. Which he was kind of like, he was kind of scum at the beginning of the movie. I think all the other characters are just kind of good, and they remain good. They want to just
except for Michael Keaton.
Yeah, except for him. He's just one note evil guy. But all the other humans are just kind of good. Maybe you can make an argument for Eva Green, who I thought did a flawless French accent. Yeah, so it's just like you got all these other characters like giving it their all. And that's something I can say about the movie. It doesn't lack ambition, that's for sure. It just doesn't land. There's a reason why Dumbo is 60 minutes long and out. Because it's not a story. It's not a story that can really expand. Whenever you add in these human, like villainous characters, and you start to like flesh them out, it doesn't work. It sucks out any of the tension, and any moment that wants to reach emotion in the second half sort of fails.
Well, and the first half of the movie, or not even the first half, the first act of the movie, you feel like we're establishing a villainous character
in Danny DeVito.
No. In the elephant trainer, the wrangler, and then
he's audio
gone by.
Which I didn't mind.
I mean, it's not really a spoiler, but it's setting up a lot of stuff, and then he's gone in the first 25 minutes.
I know you didn't, because you even told me during the movie. I think this is the most we've talked during a movie in a while. But
usually we don't.
There wasn't many people. We weren't really talking. We were just like we're noticing certain things. But I know you didn't. I know you didn't like the elephants on parade, pink elephant scene. But that's.
I know it's in the.
That's in the animated, movie, and I thought it was a decent homage. It just sort of dropped out of nowhere. But I thought
it dropped out of nowhere, and it just felt like
it was the beginning of the act of the circus act, I guess.
And it felt like it was one of those where they made the concept and they animated all of it and everything, and then. It's like, how many cuts can we do back and forth? Because it's like, bam, 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 bam.
I will say, even with that, I thought the CG looked good on that. Like, I think the CG is like actually really good, especially Dumbo. The character looks awful. Listen, the Dumbo of character is great. I love that character. Every time he shows up, I'm like, yes, Dumbo. And the CG is great, and the CG on his mom is great. And you get into a little bitty Tim Burton stuff there in the third act. That's kind of, might be a little scary for kids, but that wolf shows up and it looks like garbage, I think. And you got a cameo. I'm not going to spoil what happens, but Michael Buffer is in this movie, and they milk that. They milk it.
That $100,000 a syllable that he gets. I don't really know.
They milk that. It's disappointing because I think the movie starts off like good. It starts off like really good. And then the second half, I'm never bored, but. I'm never worried. That's for sure. Like I'm never like even with the Beauty and the Beast remake, which I didn't think was great. It added just enough extra stuff, and I still kind of felt the emotion. And there's obviously the nostalgia. I will say what this movie gets right is that I think it has a really good ending. Like the actual ending is really nice. See, I purposely did not revisit the original Dumbo because I didn't want to have to just be comparing the two the whole movie because obviously it's not as good as that. That's a milestone of animation in the early 40s. But I do think the way that this movie ends, it gets it back on track. We got Michael Keaton out of the way. I'm not going to say what happens with this character. You got him out of the way, and it's all elephant stuff. I'm like, this is the heart of the movie. Yeah. And if you would have focused more on this could have been a really good and worthwhile adaptation, remake, sequel, because it's all of those things.
I will say this much about the movie, and you have to suspend your disbelief when a horse is just as fast as a flying elephant.
Listen, you got to suspend your disbelief for a lot of things in this movie, which I'm willing to do.
I don't I don't suspend my disbelief for a flying elephant.
In the end of the day, here's what I'll say. Here's what I'll say. Michael Keaton's ridiculous accent aside. I think the
guys, it's so bad. There's a reason why it's not anywhere in the trailer.
There's a reason why you do not hear him speak.
There's a reason why you don't hear him speak in the trailer, because the moment you hear him speak, you're seriously saying, what did he say?
Oh yeah. I will say this, and I actually hate when people say this, like modern moviegoers, whenever they come out of a movie, like, that was a cute movie. I think this movie's perfectly cute for kids. I was never mad while watching this movie, but I certainly didn't get much out of it.
No.
But I think if a kid comes, compared to something that like The Grinch last year, which I loathed, this is better than that. That was just 80 minutes of just like unnecessary, like, and then just making The Grinch like not even mean. this isn't like that. This will be a cute movie for kids. Might get a little scary there towards the end.
However,
they'll probably laugh at the slapstick stuff that I didn't. To me, only had about 3 laughs in the whole movie. So for that alone, I'm giving it a C+. I give it the mildest of recommendations if you're a parent to a kid. If you're like a grown up, sorry, you might get something out of it, but it is a very disappointing movie. And if you're a Tim Burton fan, you might get something out of it. This is better than some of his more recent movies. Better than Dark Shadow, certainly. Yeah,
I could do a video on Dark Shadows, and I might.
This isn't great. It's just disappointing because I thought the trailer was actually like really emotional, and this just has a couple emotional scenes in it. Kind of pulled it together at the end, but yeah, that's a C+ for me. What do you give it, Josh?
C-.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, you're either gonna walk in the movie and love it, or you're gonna walk into it and hate it, and more than likely you're gonna hate it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And honestly, anybody, like we always say, anybody that comes into a movie and either loves it or hates it, you probably have a good reason to do that.
I think it's a tough movie to just flat out hate. It's just, there's a lot of potential there and it does not live up to it.
It's definitely a watch.
Listen, it's got some, certainly has some bad elements to it though.
Michael Keaton.
He's gonna get nominated for a Razzie.
Blows my mind.
He's gonna get nominated for a Razzie next year. That was bad.
You go from Spider-Man, Homecoming.
Dude, he's been on a roll.
To that.
Spotlight, Birdman.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Like, well, his most recent movie was Spider-Man.
The best thing about Spider-Man.
And Spider-Man Homecoming is like here, Dumbo's like off the screen.
Yeah.
And it's
I don't even love Spider-Man Homecoming, and it's quite a bit better. And he's certainly better in that than he is in this. That's our opinion on Dumbo. What did you think of what?
Sad though. What? Like closing statement.
Yeah.
You had Tim Burton, Michael Keaton.
Yeah.
And Danny DeVito.
Well, you got Batman, Beetlejuice, the Penguin, which Danny DeVito is great in this movie.
And it's like, how could that have went wrong?
I think it's a script issue. I forgot to mention this. I think the script of this is bad. It's got a bad script.
Yeah.
So that's our opinion. What did you think? Were you let down by it? Were you fulfilled by this remake? Let us know in the comment section below. Hit that subscribe button, and thank you for watching.